So we have now fought side by side next to this guy.
Look, Mount Carbon.
Damn.
Oh.
And I thought
Oh, it's a signal
Novigrad
beacon.
was big.
So the elves are against us. Against our elder. Treacherous hounds. Truth be told, I supported the Scoia'tael afore. No, I wish every last one of them dead. Dead! Long-eared bastards. Raising our own saplings against us in rebellion. Sowing unrest. Violence. In the mountains. Long-eared
Okay. Wipe your feet, comb your beard, but foreigner's garb bring not in here. Carbon's heart, can you hear it throb? You're a dwarf, damn it, not a slob. What a cool transition effect back there. Look at that. How awesome. Really, really well done.
The Lyrians stepped inside Mount Carbon's bowels. Neve rode while looking upwards, admiring the intricately carved ceiling, gilded walls, monumental bas-reliefs carved from basalt. Yet this was no time to admire the sights. Brouver had summoned her to speak.
I thank you for your invitation, Elder.
My invitation? Choice term, lass. You wangled your way in here. Long I've lived, but ne'er have I seen a wench so stubborn.
Take that as a compliment.
With all due respect, do you not feel like a pot conversing with a kettle?
Ha! True enough. Changes of mind didn't come easy to me, but they do come at times. Human wars concern me not at all. For so many they are, who could count them? Near a year goes by without one wanking king invading another's realm. A dog with scabies is less restless. That's why this morning I aim to send you off with nothing. Mattered not what the clans were saying. Rivia, Schmivia, who gives a sheep's fart? But that was this morn, before that daft wench and her pups attacked. Nilfgaard supports the Scoia'tael, it's common knowledge. Nilfgaard uses them. Well, I'm nae worse, and I choose to use Queen Meve.
So what use would you make of me, if I might ask? You've a plan?
Aye, the kind dwarves like best. Simple, but sneaky. Like to give Nilfgaard a warning, you ken. If you're going to rile my dwarves, throw 'em into the Scoia'tael ranks, you'll regret it, aye? But I'd like to issue the warning without declaring war. All clear to you so far? So, when you march out of Mahakam, you'll find a company of our foot dwarves waiting out with the gate. Officially, volunteers, enlisting with you against my will. And you're to put them at the fore next time you face Nilfgaard. Want the Blackclads to break their teeth on our bucklers, get a taste of our axe blades. After that, dare say they'll think twice before they send more Scoia'tael into these hells.
I like the way this guy thinks, man.
I do not... Thank you, Elder. You restore my hope that I shall have my home back in the end.
This is the best dwarven voice acting you've ever heard, says DK Russell. Dude, this entire game has been... I'm going to be honest here. When I started playing this game, I was under the impression that I was going to be playing a side game. I thought, you know, CDPR is focused on Cyberpunk. They're really into the Gwent standalone. Like, I felt that this was going to be kind of like a mini game. But, like... the decisions, the dialogue, the content, the characters, like, I should have known. I should have known that CDPR never phones it in. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it right. And, like, this surpassed every single expectation I had for this game.
A week back I'd have laughed
It's
you
been,
down
it's
the
been
mountain.
awesome.
Last
It has
you're a
been
plucky wench.
awesome.
And let's summit in that heat of yours. To talk so many clans over to your side, stead easy. Who kens? You just might be the end to drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
Hopefully.
I shall. You will see. Before the year is up. You've my word.
Was that a mobile joke? Anduina? Well, here's the thing. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm getting accustomed to companies that I've grown up getting so big that they lose their way. And that happens over and over and over. And I mean, hell, it's happening as we speak with Blizzard in a lot of ways. It happened with Bethesda in some ways. It happened with Ubisoft. It happened with EA even. You know, so I'm used, that's what I'm getting used to that. But then you have CDPR come out and they're just like, we're going to do everything in our power not to be that way. And it like these guys are quickly becoming a standard. And for the record, there's other companies that I really truly feel are that way. GGG is great with Path of Exile. Digital Extremes is great with Warframe. Obsidian, Larian Studios, In Exile. Like there's great game dev companies out there. But I just feel like when you get to as big as CDPR is, you start making mistakes. You start hiring people that care more about money than the games the company makes. And thankfully, these guys have not yet gone that direction. And from everything we've seen about Cyberpunk, like they're not stopping what they're doing. So it's oh man, this game just makes me love CDPR even more. And I already loved them. So yeah. Anyway, back to the game.
Reaching for the stars. You shan't get there without resources. I'll see to it you want for nought.
I shall be in your debt to my dying day.
Shh. Meaning what? For another 15 years? Tinna bother.
Ooh.
I would like to march.
3 new cards. Hell yeah,
So
man.
by your leave.
Nay, not granted. At once? What's that mean? Our laws are clear. Guests are to be sent off with a thundering feast. Even the humans.
Brouver, as was Brouver's wont, insisted. So the Queen accepted the invitation, but as was her wont, set a condition. The feast was to last but one night, and not, as was the wont of local custom, an entire week. All clans were to be represented at the feast, save one, of course, the Zigrins. For they had already learned their punishment. The entire clan was banished from Mahakam. An exception was made for one of their number, for Gabor, who was beheaded before the day was done.
Oh. But wait a second, why did they do that? Gabor was the messenger. I guess because Gabor was the person that was misleading us throughout the whole adventure. But he's also the guy that told us. He didn't need to tell us what happened. I wish we could have intervened on his behalf, to be honest. I feel like he had a moment
retired behind the peaks.
at the end.
The underground city came alive with the sound of bugles, bagpipes, and horns. The dwarves emerged out into the central square and danced exuberantly.
That is true.
sparks
Gaskin
kicking
uncovered
up
it.
from their hobnail boots.
That's true. Oh, that's a good.
The
That's a good
usually
point.
crabby elder-in-chief Hoog
Yeah.
proved a cordial host that
That's a
evening.
good point.
Let's drink, lest our neck shafts grow cobwebs.
What? Okay.
Suddenly, a messenger arrived. Brouver lifted his copper horn to his ear and listened with furrowed brow.
What's that? Speak up.
When she saw a sour grin on his face, Meve knew the tidings were not good. Yet she did not suspect they pertained to her directly.
Uh-oh.
Maeve, you expecting anyone?
Uh-oh. Wait a second. Does this also mean that the spy that we caught earlier in this area that had the letter to lead us to a particular place from an Nilfgaardian envoy, that That was Gabor leading us to where that avalanche happened? No. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
How's that?
Runner says a delegation's arrived at Carbon. Freyliria and Rivia got a Nilfgaardian escort.
You know it's trouble when all of chat is like, just keep going. Just keep playing. Okay, chat.
How dare they? Traitors. Who leads it?
You'd best sit.
Who leads the delegation?
It's your son, Vilem, I fear.
Oh, good. I was looking for an opportunity to shoot him.
Vilem.
Mahakam remains neutral as regards all your squabbles. I trust I needn't remind you. So I'll have no scrambling nor shoving, and certainly no bloodshed. Point of fact, I'd prefer it if you...
I wish to speak to him.
I'd forbid you, but, as I said, never seen a more stubborn wench. Alrighty then, jabber away with him. Just remember, hands to yourself.
Neve spotted banners, a Lyrian eagle upon one surrounded by Nilfgaard's black rags. Her hands became fists, showing how helpless she felt. Then her son and rival, Vilem, emerged from behind a row of Imperial footmen.
My. I should apologize. It seems I missed the coronation. Congratulations, my son. Who was it who placed the crown? General Epdahi?
Count Caldwell.
Ah, yes. Our elder statesman. Why have you come here, of all places? To acquire arms for Nilfgaard?
As my official mission, yes. Yet unofficially, I wish to speak with you. I trust you've had tidings from the field. Edirn turned to ash and dust. Vizimir murdered Redania in chaos. Foltest forced to strike a pact, by his vassals betrayed, Henselt the same.
This limerick, will it come to a point?
Why, yes, to the same as this war. Mother, I beg you, you must see it. Nilfgaard's victory is inevitable. Surrender now, and I shall show you mercy. For later it'll be too late.
Surrender now, and I shall show you mercy. Oh my God.
There will be no later.
Oh.
We shall repel them, drive them south at the points of our pikes.
Oh.
This we, Mother? Who precisely do you mean? You stand alone.
I'm not gonna tell him this. I don't want him to know this.
I prefer to stand alone over standing with Nilfgaard, with the invader, as you do.
Mother, in declaring for the Empire, I saved the lives of thousands of our subjects.
And in so doing, our honor lost.
Folk who had their huts burned down care deeply about our honor. Is that truly your belief? When I was crowned, a fact you deride, though that makes it no less true, I swore the good of my subjects would guide me. And a war we are doomed to lose cannot in any way benefit them.
Dude, we stopped a caravan of slaves that were out of those same huts you're claiming that you saved. They also turned your countryside to ashes. So all this bullshit about you being a good leader because of your subjects, that's complete bullshit.
And slavery can. You know well the Blackclads put peasants in chains, like cattle.
Bam.
Reprehensible, I agree, but...
But?
And resettlement? Forced labor? Cruel laws that make death the punishment for the slightest offenses? Are those benefits? Well, answer me!
I see I will not sway you, Mother. A shame, though I take comfort in the fact I tried. And now...
I bet you do.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Oh no, I, not you, will decide when this conversation is over.
I'm still your mother, god damn it.
Oh, have we anything else to discuss?
I kind of wish you went, ugh, Mom, come on.
Are you perhaps aware that the Nilfgaardians tried to kill me?
What? No, I heard only about an avalanche.
Okay, this is kind of dumb, considering, like, of course they're trying to kill us. We're murdering all the Nilfgaardians we come across, pretty much. Of course they're trying to kill us.
Which tumbled down through no small effort of an Imperial envoy.
Okay.
Never would I have agreed to such a heinous act.
I believe you.
I'm heartened that, despite all we...
I believe you because I believe the Nilfgaardians wouldn't ever have asked your opinion. Think on it, son. Are you their ally or their tool? Can you ever be sure?
I am the King of Lyria and Rivia. To serve my subjects' best interests, I am prepared to make even the most painful concessions.
Yeah, apparently.
Might I leave now? Or is there more?
Naturally. How did you know you would find me here?
That's actually a really good question.
I received Nilfgaardian reports to the effect that you've been seen in the past.
Funny about what we had just talked about, right?
Oh, roses are red and so are your cheeks, my son. As ever when you're caught in a lie. Lyria is 2 weeks' travel hence. Had you received word only once I was here, we'd have been long gone from Mahakam by the time you assembled a force and completed the march.
Oh, damn. Okay.
No. You were forewarned of our intended route. It means I've a traitor in my ranks. Another one.
Oh.
Get out of my sight, Vilem. And pray we only ever face one another on neutral ground.
Maeve struggled inside not to turn and gaze once more at her son. He'd changed since they'd last faced each other, grown manlier, and he wore the crown well.
Too bad she'd have to cut his head off with it on.
The Queen returned to the banquet hall. Her advisors shot her questioning glances, curious what she had discussed with Brouver. But Maeve decided to keep the details to herself. One of them wore a Nilfgaardian lead around his neck. Until she knew who, she would have to remain vigilant.
Who do you think is the traitor? That's a really good question. I think it's going to be someone we know. Reynard is super loyal. I'd be surprised if it was him. And he did almost give his life for us. Gascon has been... He's the bandit, but I think that he's probably in the right. Because he's helped us, and he was the one that got us out of the dungeon. I don't think it's the guy that burned his face off, because I don't think he'd have the motivation. There's two different motivators that could be from the traitor. Either kind of like the king trying to protect more people, or for personal gain. Nilfgaard is going to give them something, like a huge amount of gold or land or a kingship. Man, I'll be honest. None of my people jump out. None of my people jump out as a potential traitor.
Feasting's done, Reynard. We must consider our next move.
I've thought on it, Your Grace. We've strength enough to hit the foe, but still not the numbers to face him in open battle.
It's probably Knickers the dog. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
So what do you propose?
This war we cannot win alone, nor even with the dwarves at our side. But if we secure a victory, small yet symbolic, we shall show the other realms of the north all is not yet lost. Thus, I
Could it be
propose we
Reynard?
attack behind the front lines, somewhere well clear of any major Imperial force.
I have to admit, I feel like Reynard would be the biggest reveal. Like, he would be the biggest, oh god, I never expected him. Like, he is the least person that I think would make sense to be the traitor. Which almost makes me think in classic CDPR that he's probably the traitor. Because that's how CDPR
Where would you
works.
suggest?
And maybe, I mean, hell, maybe this is him trying to betray us right now.
I'm considering Angren. To begin with, a thickly wooded marshy land,
Hey,
always
Lefto.
helpful in clandestine operations. Secondly, the land's strategically important, as it's the chief source
What
of
are you
building
doing?
material for Nilfgaard's fleets.
What are you doing? He's killing. Okay.
All too little, I fear. Since we require a victory that would be symbolic, we must strike where it shall hurt. And Angren...
Boop.
Just recently welcomed a new regent in the person of Count Caldwell, my third argument. Naturally, if your majesty wishes, I'm prepared to present alternatives to this.
Oh, no, no, no. I don't even care if we can get him, it's worth being betrayed.
No need. We march at dawn.
Yeah, that's cool.
Neve had toiled.
I love let
cajoled,
those little chin spot. Oh, you mean his goatee?
and gained the dwarf's support.
His little perfect goatee?
She left Mahakam strengthened.
Yeah, pretty great.
Even so, the queen was in a foul mood. For it was clear a traitor, a viper, nested among the Lyrians.
Hey, big guy.
Someone who had conveyed the queen's plans to her foe. From this moment on, Neve would need to weigh every word she uttered, even in the presence of her closest associates.
Your Grace, we must plot our course forward. Shall we take the western passage into Angren, or...
Not now.
When then? Dawn approaches, yet we know nothing of where...
I will not repeat myself.
The queen knew she would learn the traitor's identity in the end.
Love you, bud.
If need be, she would tear the name from the throat of another turncoat, Count Caldwell. Neve drooled at the prospect of seeing Caldwell in chains, then passing him to the hangman.
Saddle the horses. I shall take the fall.
The time for diplomacy, for preparations and negotiations had gone. Neve was to attack her foe at last, and she could not wait to do so. At long last, Meve's force reached Angren's marshy woods. Ever been? No? Count yourselves lucky.
Are you certain we haven't lost our way?
Alas, here there is no way. We continue south, that's all.
South meaning the bottom.
Should you ever venture there, I offer you this advice. Do your utmost to make no noise. Poor soul. His comrades cried out, reached out, but alas, amidst frothing waters they heard bones cracking, the moan of metal bent and crushed.
What the... Bloody hell, what was that?
Rather not know, personally.
Hold your positions! Arms at the ready!
It was a glusty war. One of many the Lyrians would encounter along their path. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. At last, Meve and her force stood upon the Yaruga's bank. To find and punish the traitor Caldwell, they would have to cross the river. Yet the sole bridge nearby was in Nilfgaard's hands.
Your Majesty, some new reports require your attention.
You should know Count Caldwell has been handed control of Angren. Your son Vilem seized his chance to assert his independence. The young prince pushes his own decrees to the Council of Peers. It's not for me to judge whether it's all according to some plan of the invaders. Temerian and Cadwin want to cut deals with the Nilfgaardian. Oh, Lord. Okay. Volunteers from Mahakam aren't to go without victuals, bevies, or brawls. Don't be stingy. I'm paying. And make sure they don't chum around with your other troops more than the absolute minimum. Keep them segregated. I don't want any of your idiotic human fashions depraving my decent dwarves and infecting the mountain when they get back. Oh, I love it. And then Angren. Okay. So let's take a look here. Now, are the new cards already in? No. Okay. So, let's take a look at our new cards. What did we get? Set a unit's power equal to Mahakam Shield Bearer's power. Okay, that could be good. Put a couple of those in. Move 2 units with the same power to the other row on their side. Okay. Damage all enemies that share the same power with each other by 2. We'll get a couple of those. Alright, we'll try that. Actually, maybe 3 of those. We have a huge deck right now. Then we got another... What's this guy? Oh, Crow's Eye.
You need my help with anything? Anything
talk to
at
everyone
all?
real
I've
quick.
ideas aplenty.
Ever travelled with an army before?
Frankly, can't say that I have. You folk are my first. And let me say, it's not nearly as dull as I expected. Your travelling companions are fascinating, truly.
Sorry, I want to let those eyes is kind of red. But he looks fine.
Is that so? Who, if I might ask?
Let me think. Then there's that aged woman. Isabel, is it? Oh, your grace, a complete lunatic, that one. Did you know she believes the world to be round? Round! Like an egg! And just between the two of us, the quiet chap, Xavier, gives me the willies, truth be told. Could just be on account of his face looking like a piece of taffy stuck to the sole of a boot. Who else? Oh, right. A word of advice. Never play Gascon at cards. He's a hustler, that one. And he tells tall tales. About debts, specifically. Ones that I supposedly owe him. And the Reynard fellow. What a jester. Always good for a laugh.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Every day he barks at me, stand at attention, with a perfectly straight face. And last, he asked asked if I'd served in the Norm Army. I mean, really. Sometimes I just can't with that man.
Very thorough, Barnabas. I thank you. Time I attended to other matters.
Ah,
Wait, what?
you need my help with it?
Time I attended...
That's weird.
Yes, milady?
I haven't had the opportunity to thank you. Had you not been so alert, we'd have fallen to our deaths in Mahakam.
I merely did my duty, Your Majesty.
Modest as ever. Yet once the war is over, I shall make certain you're properly rewarded.
My lady, the one reward I desire is victory. Your victory.
Man, what a bro. Wow.
Other matters await my attention.
As you wish, my...
I wonder if he could be...
Hey ho, how's my favorite queen in the north?
Ever have regrets? Feel remorse?
For what?
Oh, I don't know. Killing innocents, perhaps? Murdering travelers, pilgrims?
I've always warned them. Won't touch a hair on your heads, provided you don't resist. So, see, gave them a choice. Besides, innocents? Please, Maeve. We both know those to be mythical creatures. Everyone's got something on their conscience.
So there's always call for murder.
That's right. Dead right. You need but answer it.
Wow.
It's time I attended...
That's kind of brutal.
Yes, Your Grace?
Reynard, you fought in the first war against Nilfgaard, did you not?
Yes, Your Grace. Though, as a mere captain then.
Were they equally cruel? Did they scorch fields, turn peasants into slaves?
No, Your Grace. They fought with honor in those days.
So, what's happened? Why the change?
It's said Emperor Emir var Emrys's heart hardened over the years. He's grown crueler, more ruthless. His soldiers' zeal for violence has followed suit.
But you don't say that.
No, Your Grace.
To your mind, Why do they now despise us as they war against us?
'Tis ever easier to loathe those you know. Before the first war, they knew nothing about us. Then they saw they'd the better weapons, larger cities, superior craft. That in our towns, waste flowed through the streets in open gutters. And they concluded we weren't their equals. It's far easier to kill when one holds such a belief.
It's time I attended to other...
That's some pretty deep stuff, man. And very true. Very true. Did I see the Fallout 76 patch? I did. Now I'm waiting for the patch notes. Yeah, I am really looking forward to see what that patch did. Craft Lyrian Pathfinder to remove weather? We might later. By the way, guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm like really interested in this story and dialogue. I'm seeing a lot of people say stuff in chat, and I'm not being able to respond to it. But thank you guys for watching today, and I'm super focus mode. Super focus mode. Sad House says, reads the patch notes online. They're not out
Hidden
yet.
among brambles,
There's no patch notes anywhere.
watched the Nilfgaardian sentries atop the palisade. In full gear, alert in stance, they looked sharp and ready to defend the stronghold.
Blast.
Meve hissed, for she now knew Red Lobendon would not fall by surprise. A siege would be needed, and it would slow her advance. Yet there was naught she could do, as this was her one road to Angren and to Caldwell. Reynard wiped the sweat from his brow, donned his helmet, and dropped his visor with a tap.
On your command, Your Majesty.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Very well. We mustn't delay.
Oh,
Reynard, our plan of attack. Armored infantry to lead and take the first salvo upon their breast, scaling ladders to follow. Afterwards...
Masterful. Truly masterful.
Interrupted Gascon.
Yet, despite the mastery, fit to be improved.
How, namely?
Hold back your force. Lie in waiting. I'll take 10 good men and open the gates for you. Wide.
And how do you aim to achieve this?
Asked Reynard.
Knock and claim to be a trinket peddler, I suppose. Or perhaps one of Lebioda's devout disciples.
Must you know every last detail? Where's the fun in that, sir?
There's none in warfare. Never.
Seethed Reynard.
For war is no farce. Your Majesty, he stands no chance. Not the slightest.
None at all, I concur. Yet his eagerness intrigues. Let's see what he can do.
Reynard did not approve of Meve's decision, this was clear.
Oh, we didn't get a
But he
choice.
dared not undermine it. The Queen's blessing now his, Gascon assembled a small force and set off, straight for the stronghold gate.
Lambs to the slaughter,
Muttered Reynard, shaking his head.
My Queen, it's not too late. We can always...
Shh! Look.
Already at the gate, Gascon lifted his arm in a gesture of peace, then merrily bantered a bit with the guards. A moment later, the gates jerked into motion.
But how?
No matter. The gate stands open. We must attack.
Meve raced off towards the fortress without even glancing back. She knew well her soldiers would follow.
Zuriel, thank you so much for your 9 months, buddy. Yeah, speech level 1000. Good God, dude. The guards continued their attempt to close the gate, but Gascon's men quickly disposed of them, thrusting their knives between gaps in the heavy plate. The Lyrians raised their fists in triumph and cheered, but Meve was quick to silence them. The celebration was premature. True, the invaders lost a tactical advantage, but had not yet been defeated.